Hey, Saints, I hope that you are doing well and are enjoying this Christmas season that is upon us. For this, my final Bible preview video, I'll be previewing and saying a little bit about the final chapters, the final chunk rather, of the Bible that we'll be reading this year. We start with 1 John and we read through the book of Revelations. And so, what are some things to point out about these particular books? Well, first of all, the books of John, of which there are three, are very interesting books. The first one, there's a lot on love, in particular, some really great quotables. For example, perfect love casts out fear, and other things of that nature. So definitely check out the first book to John and the other ones as well, but in particular, the first one. After the books of John, we also have the book of Jude, which is a very, very short book, but contains some really interesting details and images around heaven and hell, around what's known as eschatological literature, basically literature of what happens when it all ends. And so that is the book of Jude. And so it's really short, like one chapter long, but worth checking out because there are different beliefs about what happens in the end that are informed by this lovely little book. And then we have the book of Revelation. And the book of Revelation contains, the visions that John had about what the end was going to be like. And so it begins with John having a vision of Jesus, and it goes through seeing, the wrath of God being poured out. It goes through seeing what happens to those who don't believe. It goes through seeing the rewards to those who have and who have endured losses of the faith. And so I invite you to check it out and just pay attention to all the imagery. If you're someone who's really visual, even make little drawings of some of the things you see. I mean, the imagery is quite amazing. I think what I'm always taken by is just how many people are saved. Oftentimes people think of the end times as a time where so few are saved, but it talks about how there's multitudes from every nation, far beyond what you can count. And for me, gives me lots of hope. And so definitely check it out. Pay attention to all the different pieces of Revelation. There's a lot to chew on and enjoy it. If you feel like after reading it, especially if it's your first time, you feel like after reading it, you don't really understand it, you're in great company. I've read it maybe 20 times and I'm still working on that, but nonetheless, it is a great book. And the beautiful thing is, in the end, we know one thing for certain, that love wins and that Jesus will come back sometime. So there we are. I hope you have enjoyed all this Bible reading, and I wish you the best as you finish this year strong. Peace and love, mi gente.